people, you are locked into the Broken Generation podcast.
Broken.
Black in effect. And this week, we're just a bit, I don't know, what would you say?
Chill mode, man.
Chill mode.
It's the end of summer.
Oh, it is the end of summer. It's still hot though.
End of holidays.
Got the fan running.
Shout out to the one fan, the only fan.
Only fan. Got the only fan running. Make sure you subscribe, Broken Generation.
Yeah. That works.
Switch the background up a bit.
A little, innit? A little.
Yeah. We still got the posters but the centerpiece.
Yeah. Things have changed. Things
are changing.
That's always good.
But we are the Broken Generation and we keep it moving. So, my brother, what's the past couple of weeks brought for you?
No, I hear it. It's been pretty decent, to be fair. It's been pretty decent. Personal life, kids are great.
Always good.
Had a little Butlins thing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Had a little Butlins thing.
Yeah. Butlins is alright, you know.
Butlins is a vibe, you know, for kids.
Yeah, it's alright.
Butlins is a vibe for kids. And to be fair, I did a bit too much. I didn't say no to anything that the kids asked for.
Oh, you just...
Can we eat this? Can we go there? Dad, can I have this? Can I have that?
Did you do a half-board thing or bed and breakfast or just room only?
No, we did a room only, which made it worse.
Yeah, I'm done with room only now.
Which made it 1,000% worse.
I'm done with room only.
Because not only did I just go to the supermarket and get a bag full of food.
Yeah, of course.
None of the food that we bought, we actually used.
No, you never did.
Bar the cereal, we just ate every day. Dad, can I have this burger? Dad, can I have this fish and chips? Oh, you eating the fish and chips? No, I wasn't really hungry. So why am I buying you fish and chips? Oh, okay. Walk a little bit further. Oh, Dad, can I have a Burger King? Sure, yeah. Do you want a Burger King? What do you want? Yeah, he goes, yum 2 chips, yum a burger. Is that it? You're not eating the rest? Nah, I'm not really hungry. So it's just one of those ones where I was just like, don't worry. Just do what you want. Just live life, innit? Live life.
You know what? Not even only recently, only 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Actually, no, I did a Butlins. Not all inclusive, but like a half board.
Is that like an adults?
Nah, with the kids.
Oh, with the kids, okay.
Listen, before that, I never even knew these things existed.
Butlins
no, I mean like half board. People used to talk about them things, but that's never my life.
Yeah.
My summer holidays were in Bream in a caravan. You know that was, brother. You don't get
life.
All inclusive and half board in them places. So when I had that, I said that's mad. So I'm saying from now on, I can't go on holiday unless it's at least half board.
Really?
I can't do
it. Why is that? Because
the food's just there.
Just because you're lazy? Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the supermarket, especially with kids.
No, that makes sense.
And I'm hearing the all-inclusive life's even better. I've never done that, but I'm hearing, you could just go to the bar whenever. And
I need that life.
Yeah, I'm not doing nothing unless it's all-inclusive or abroad.
To be fair, when I hit my 40s, it's nothing but all-inclusive.
Why 40s though?
And first-class flights only.
Is it?
Business class flights only. Train rides, first class only. I've got a couple of years, man.
So you said like a forward with you, yeah? Because the way you're talking, you got the money for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We'll see. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Because we already did one trip, just me and you.
What trip was that? Oh yeah. Shout out to he who won't be named.
Yeah.
It was a good. It was meant to be three. It was meant to be 3 of us. Yeah. It didn't.
Not one didn't make it.
It didn't work out. Good stories, man. You know when you're old, yeah, and you're playing dominoes and you're just old and grey, and you're reminiscing on old stories.
And the worst thing is, it's gonna drop in the most randomest time.
Yeah.
Yo, I remember when the cat met the flight. Boom.
Yeah. Love it.
But obviously, this is like the end now. We're coming to the end of people's summer holidays.
First of all, how was yours?
Oh, lovely.
Heard you did a little vacation, innit?
No, not vacation.
Oh, was it not?
The kids be.
Oh, sorry.
I had not even a day. I had 4 hours.
4 hours without the kids?
Yeah, that was about it.
Oh, nice.
Did 4 hours.
Okay.
Did the walk along the beach.
Yeah. What, did the proposal thing yet?
Not a chance.
Not yet? Okay, cool. Next holidays, like we said.
Not a chance.
Next holidays,
I don't know. It could
it might happen.
Because it's not coming from me, so it could come from wherever.
Would you say yes if she proposed to you? That would be a good flex. You ain't got to say that.
It depends. You know that ones. I don't know if it feels right.
I ain't gonna lie. You got to tell me. Do you know what happens? Yeah, this is the situation.
All right, go through.
Since I've been married, let me just tell the people how it's supposed to happen. All right. How it's supposed to happen. Yeah, you're supposed to tell your brethren what's your ring size, innit? So your brethren can tell your mains what go on, innit?
What, as the women's meant to do that? Or
the women's supposed to. No, the men's supposed to ask her best friend what her ring size is.
Okay.
So you know what the ring size is. Boom, boom, boom. But if it's 2023 now.
Yeah, but
so she may ask you.
No, but are you not doing that with the engagement ring?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
So before she proposes, if she wants the ring to be right.
So the engagement ring, you're meant to have the engagement ring ready.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, because the wedding you get the little gold ring, innit?
on
It's
the
not
day.
actual-
Yeah, on the day.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, my bad.
So
my bad.
so the engagement ring, then, and she might want their exact size. So you got to tell me your ring size, so that I can tell her if she ever asks. I'm not
I
saying
don't
she
even
has
want a
asked.
ring, brother. I'm just,
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I can miss call. I don't even need
does
a
that-
whole thing. I
No,
don't take
is
a
it?
miss call.
A little WhatsApp message. Will
I'll
you
take
marry
a
me? Yeah.
WhatsApp, brother. I'll take
That
a
would be
little. I'll take a little
dope.
chaps
That would
or
be dope.
a chain. I don't even need a ring.
Yeah, a trap star jacket. Yeah. Get that on one knee.
This is my engagement.
Engagement coat.
Yeah.
Or some crepes. Some
Anything.
Jordans.
Anything.
Yo, matching Jordans. That would be a solid.
We got the
Obvious.
pandas.
Okay.
We've all got the pandas, all of us. So the girls
Yeah.
and my son, all matching pandas.
That's lovely, man. First of all, I love seeing. I'm not one of those haters. So whenever I'm on
No, you're
Instagram,
a comedian, that's what you are.
Whenever-
I'm a hater, you're a comedian.
so whenever I'm on Instagram or Facebook and I see couples doing up their little couples pictures and that,
You
I'm
have to
always
comment.
double tapping
have to comment.
because it's beautiful. I love it. Innit? I just love
You
it.
don't love it though. You don't
I do love it. What
you
you talking about?
absolutely despise it. Love.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. No. I support it, man. I'm always double
Support
tapping.
marriage, yeah?
Yeah, I support relationships.
Recently,
and
one of
positive,
my
good
friends got
relationships.
married.
Oh snap! That's a
Then
fact.
you got well, I wasn't here. I was away, but
Yeah.
so yeah. So you
That's
support
beautiful.
marriage.
Of course I do. It's a fact.
So you was there to support the marriage.
I was working.
So you support.
Wait. I don't know where we're going with this.
I'm just saying, you support marriage.
First of all, I do support love and real relationships. I love that stuff, innit?
Okay.
But when I'm working,
Yeah.
and my boss is like the devil. My boss won't listen to me, innit? So I'm telling him, yo, boss, can I get a day off?
And you the boss.
Boom. I was like, can I get a day off? I couldn't get a day off.
Okay. No, I get that. It gets like that. It gets
Like that, man. Let's get sticky. So your vacation was dope.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Different experience. Obviously, never been that side of the world before.
Yeah. So where were you?
Different to see Greece.
Greece.
Crete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Weather's nice.
They treat you good out there?
Yeah, man. People all right. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really, they see the black guy walk through. You don't really never know, do you, when you go to them sides of the world? But as far as I know, everything
It's
was
all
good.
good. Nah, that's love, man. That's love.
Everything was good.
That's good.
So yeah, always nice, man. I'm already looking at next year's.
Nah, I hear
I have to do it every year now. All inclusive.
it. Ooh, fire.
Have to.
Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Yeah, man. But I'm not sure if Bream does all inclusive. But boy, it's worth a look.
Western Superman, but you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for
There's other
real,
places, man. There's
Western.
other
Nah,
places. There's other
true.
places, man. There's
It's
places.
true.
Nah, but this week's been good, brother. Your week's been good. Yeah, man. Let's just talk to the people, innit? Let's talk to the people.
So, swiftly moving on. So, I seen a post on social media, either yesterday or the day before, of a certain footballer taking a day off in London, visiting the sites. And just one thing didn't really sit well with me. It might not even be a thing. And it is probably not a thing. But Mo Salah, the Liverpool Egyptian king, one of the greatest players to play in the Premier League, went to London, visited the London Museum, and took some selfies with some Egyptian artifacts. Cool, maybe that's not a problem. But to me, I'm saying it's a bit weird that an Egyptian man, or an Egyptian, is taking pictures with artifacts that are, some have been suggested, stolen from his own country.
Come on, talk the thing. Yeah.
So, I don't know, it might be a thing, it might not be a thing. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Maybe the ones that he took pictures with were gifted, or maybe he just don't care. So this is the same player. He's my player, so I'm not getting on to him. That's my guy.
That's your team
But
as well,
at
yeah.
Christmas, he'll put on Christmas jumpers. So he's a devoted Muslim, but he'll wear a Christmas jumper and he'll take a family picture in front of a Christmas tree with his family, and he gets loads of backlash, especially from the Muslim community about that.
Because people associate Christmas with Christianity. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he gets loads of backlash about that, and obviously his response is he's doing it for the children. They're in a mainly Christian country. Obviously, they go to school. They see Christmas, although they don't celebrate it.
Yeah.
He just does the visuals.
Yeah.
So obviously, so maybe it's some, I don't know. What's your feelings on it?
So I'd say there's two elements to it. Yeah, one element being he's an Egyptian gone to a British museum to see British. I'm not saying that's the only reason why he went there, but
yeah, we don't know the full context.
But to take a picture next to Egyptian artifacts, which are owned by the British people or the British government or the British Museum, whatever you want to describe it, sounds a bit off.
That's what I'm saying. But it might not be. To be fair, it might be an exhibition that has been brought over from Egypt.
Could have
and
been
being shown
like an Egyptian artist. Yeah,
being shown in. So there's a lot more. But for the context of the show, that's what we're going to talk about. Because there are artifacts all over the UK that 100%. Have been taken from different countries.
Yeah, I think that's the wider conversation. The wider conversation being is one, what does it mean to support the country you're in, or the country you're from, or the culture you're from?
Yeah.
Because if you're not in the center of the country you're from, or in the culture where you're from, how do you represent it, or how do you represent it and represent it well? Because some people may look at that like the way we were looking at it, or you were looking at it, is to say, right, why is he going there and looking as if he's supporting them? Mm-hmm. Like for you to take a picture, you've got millions of supporters or maybe followers online, and to take a picture next to artifacts that possibly could be stolen. If that's not stolen, there are other things that are stolen in the museum and from Britain in general. So how do you as a Egyptian stand next to things that possibly could be stolen and be okay with that? Should that be something that you should be objectifying and being against? But also in the same sense, it talks to the wider discussion, because something else happened this week, yeah? Carnival was on.
Yep.
Now, Carnival, those who know it, has historical roots in the Caribbean culture.
100%.
And oftentimes the people of that culture, or lineage, often mock the Carnival for some of its, how would I describe it? Some of its traits. Does that make sense? So the wine and the dagger in, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
The expensive prices of the food and this, that, and the other, the noise or whatever. And how do you represent a culture, or how do you represent a culture well if you're from that culture, is the question that we need to have. Ooh. What's Masala doing there? Why are oftentimes black Caribbean boys, men or women, talking badly about Carnival? Not an ill Carnival specifically, when that's part of your culture or part of your lineage. Masala, me, you, what are we doing? How do we live in those contexts?
How do you represent your culture? No, and I think there is a deeper discussion on that. There's definitely a deeper discussion, because I think obviously it then comes with your generations, because what Carnival probably meant to the Windrush community and the community that was here when it started. I watched a little documentary and it said obviously they were being forced into an area, Notting Hill and Brixton. They were being shone from the community because they were black. So they all come together to celebrate their history and all their culture. And that's how Notting Hill Carnival was initially. So for them, that's what it looked like. Yeah. Whereas to us, like for me, in all honesty, I don't go Carnival to celebrate the culture. I go there because the music's running.
Rampage stage.
Got Rampage stage. You can have some drinks. Get me? You might see things. You know them ones. So, like, I go there to enjoy myself and to have a good time. It just happens to be my culture, so that way I can connect with it.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything bad with it. But yeah, like the initial reason it was created was probably not to glorify some of the stuff that it glorifies now. And
to be fair, when you invite people into your culture, so Masala, we could be talking about him going to the museum, or Carnival, when it's predominantly at one point a Caribbean celebrated culture. But when you invite others into the culture, you are open yourself up for mockery or misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. So to some extent, if someone who was white British, or someone who is external to the culture, for example, of Carnival, using that as an example, and they came into Carnival and there was things that they were seeing and they were like, I don't understand it, and they express what they don't like, that's one thing. Because they're not of the culture, it may be like, oh cool, they just don't understand the culture of it. When someone should be of the culture, there should be an underlying understanding of why whatever happens at Carnival. So when we speak ill of it, or when we do something which could be, let me just say, do something that could be seen as ill or against it, it's a real big bad, like pie in the face on our respect. So for Masala to take a picture, to him, he might be like, yo, I'm just going there to enjoy it. But to some other people, we're looking at it and he's like, why are you supporting the museum in any way, shape or form that steals and robs from other countries and cultures?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Do you hear the connection that I'm making there?
Yeah.
So I think when is a representation of everyone that you represent, you should do well in representing them, if that makes sense. And it's hard because, especially us as British people, when we talk about carnival, me as a black man, oftentimes I'm not cognitively thinking, oh yeah, my parents are from the Caribbean, so I've got to represent the Caribbean islands, or the Caribbean people, or Jamaica when I'm going to carnival, or I'm going to a black event.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Oftentimes I'm just like, oh, enjoying myself and laughing and giggling. But there has to be some kind of understanding if other people are watching you and you're representing that thing, Masala, when he's going to the museum. There has to be some kind of accountability you got to lead or have on those kind of parts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think maybe, like for Mo Salah, it may be that he doesn't feel accountable.
Yeah.
Like he's just like to enjoy himself.
Doesn't feel the need to be.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't need all the pressure. He doesn't do the political thing. Like he's a multi-millionaire. You know that one. So he's not feeling the kind of that
need
restriction.
to.
And the need to be like, I'm an Egyptian and he's a stole. He's just like to enjoy himself. Like,
and maybe he's lost his culture.
And like we said,
like
we go to these places and we don't necessarily feel like we need to represent who we are. We go to have a good time. And maybe that's the reason why he's going and that he's done it. So what are your views on Carnival? Have you been to Carnival?
I've been to Carnival as a kid.
Okay.
I love the history of Carnival.
Yeah.
So I got to say that since I'm representing. Yeah, I got to say the positive stuff first.
Oh, so you're like going to be one of them older generation. I like what it was.
Yeah, no.
What it's become.
I like the bread of it. The meat of it. Nah, jokes. I haven't been in a while. I do like Carnival. I enjoy what I see about it, the expressions I see about it. Me personally, I can't run through Carnival.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Yeah, I just don't feel like. I don't know.
Carnival's
Maybe
amazing, man.
Carnival's a vibe, but I haven't been as a older grown up.
I
went as a kid. I went as a kid, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a little bit. It's a lot.
As a kid, yes, I wouldn't recommend taking
mainly because of the amount of people. It's not actually the carnival itself, because the carnival itself, we went and saw the floats. So we went mad early, saw the floats. That was dope. That was sick. Then we walked down side streets, yam some food. That's dope. But the amount of people, when you're in a midst of 2 million people plus whatever, no matter what the event is, it's going to be intense. And when you're a kid, you can't take the intensity, in my opinion. I mean,
so just for people might want to know, but just from how did your parents describe it as a kid? Was it something they were proud of? Or?
I'm not even sure if they've been there loads of times.
Oh, okay.
I just remember going with my mum. Went down with my mum, my brother, with my cousin, and we went to see our other cousin who was living in London. I think. Yeah. So we just ended up there.
So I was just thinking what it felt like to be represented for an older generation and it represents. Because I don't really know if Carnival represents me.
No.
Yeah.
Rampage stage, does that represent you?
Well, the sign system, music's always going to represent me. And for me, if there was no sign system, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a float team.
If it was the floats and the food and even though it's all good, but the reason I go to Carnival is for the sign systems. Yeah. And the fact you can go around and you can get a little piece of music in different places. Of course, yeah. So that more represents it for me. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily need to be Carnival.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that could be a street party that I'm going to. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think how it looks different to different people. Whereas some people love the dressing up, they love the dancing. Like when I was in London, people wouldn't even go to the sign systems. They would just follow the floats.
Yeah.
9 hours. They would just be walking, dancing, paint everywhere, costumes. Yeah. Like, they wouldn't know nothing about the sign systems. And for me, I was like, that's crazy.
That's the only reason you go?
Yeah, because I don't want to walk around and see the floats. And it's nice to see them.
Yeah, I'm burning up my feet. Yeah, you're right.
I'd rather go listen to the music. So for me, that's what I relate to.
Yeah.
When necessarily, that's not probably what Carnival is.
No, I hear it.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear
so
it.
that's why I said I don't feel like... It's like that. So that's why I was interested if your parents had a different relationship.
Going back in my mind, my parents have always speak highly of it. Mm-hmm. But going as a kid, I only went, in my recollection, twice, I think. And I enjoyed it in the sense of I enjoyed the food and I enjoyed the music and the noise and the palaver of it. But You know what I mean? It hasn't appealed to me. And that might be just because I'm outside of London.
Yeah.
Because I'm outside of London, maybe that's why I don't have the appeal.
And it's a lot.
It's an energy flex, yeah.
It's a lot. You have to be constantly bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
But my dad still goes. He does the whole. I love the whole sign system thing. Maybe that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
You know, because my dad, I remember my dad was going Notting Hill Carnival and just stand up by the Jar Shaka stage.
Yeah.
You know, that was him. He didn't move.
Yeah.
Find the one dub stage. And I remember, I didn't go as a kid. He never used to take me. But obviously, when I got older and went by myself, and then I would speak to him, he'd be there. All like, bass, man. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Just thinking, how are these people standing here?
Ears ringing off. Yeah. No, I hear it.
Can't hear nothing. It's just pure bit 15, 16 speakers.
I don't get me wrong. I love the idea of carnival.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it exists. People can experience the Caribbean culture or an element of the Caribbean culture. I enjoy the idea of the Caribbean people coming together, or people of the lineage of Caribbean. If you like the music, if you like the food, if you like and all of that stuff. I love the idea of it. For me personally, I could definitely run through that.
Yeah.
But I've got to have only for energy, innit? And it's not like it's down the road. Like it's London, innit? So I've got to go all the way down there. So it's a flex, and I love it. But it's a flex I can only do when I'm ready for that. You know what I mean?
So let's tie it back.
Let's bring it back.
Do you feel that carnival represents our culture?
So this is what I was gonna say. This is a good point.
So if you're from outside of London, you don't really know the Caribbean culture, and you're seeing this on TV. Do you feel like that represents our culture? Wow.
This is good. This is a good question to have. It represents an element of our culture.
Okay.
Or an element of the historical Caribbean culture. I don't know if it represents us today.
Okay, yeah.
But there is elements that it does represent. So like if you were to see the floats, you would see the floats and you'd be like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this, that and the other. And it's connections to different things. Mm-hmm. You see the tin pans, what we call them?
Yeah, steel pans.
Steel pans. You see the bands, you see the colours, you see the floats, all of those sort of things. You can connect it easily to Backyard, or you can go to a certain music stages and you can hear the music from Backyard.
Yeah, because they play soca and what they do all of that music.
Yeah. So, but it's changed. So I think, and it's not carnival in and of itself, or it does represent Masala and the museum, because one generation loves and cherishes. The first generation loves and cherishes their culture. The second generation hears the stories of their previous culture. The third generation is just a dream. Because it's not something they're living out. And I think that's where we are in terms of carnival. I'm an outsider, so I'm not a Londoner, so I can't really speak that deeply of it. But I'm not sure how much of it represents the Caribbean from where it initially started from. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's still us, but it's us in 2023. It's not us of 1960. Does that make sense? So you may not hear the exact same music because if you go to the Rampage stage, is that really what the Caribbean culture was when it started off?
No, of course not.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you might hear...
That's like modern... But
exactly.
That is us today.
That's us today, yeah. So you might hear like Afro beats.
Yeah, you might you hear reggae and you hear Afro beats.
Yeah.
You do hear them things.
So it's about how much of it is what it was originally started for. And it doesn't really matter because today in 2023, I appreciate it for what it is today rather than, it's not exactly a blueprint of what it was in 1970. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what's important. So if someone was to ask me, okay, what represents your culture? I would point to Notting Hill Carnival, but I wouldn't say that alone. I'd have to point to other things.
So if someone come to you and said, how do you best describe your culture? Without visiting, we'll say Jamaica because that's where we are. How would you best describe what being Jamaicans like? Yeah. What would you direct them to?
I'd have to direct them to something musically.
Okay.
So whether it's a music... So whether it's a specific artist, an old school artist, whether it's a modern day artist, I'd have to point to a musical artist, and the food, because I feel so you'd have to go to one of the shops, you have to experience soul food or black Caribbean food from depending on where you're from, food that, and I'd experience a family. So if ever there was someone who wasn't Caribbean, back in the day it used to be my grandparents' house. So on a Saturday, everyone would come around for soup. So yard soup at my nan's house. If you were an outsider from the Caribbean country and you went there, you'd see my uncle's reasoning in the living room. You saw dominoes, exactly, brother. Few maybe
rum running 10 a.m.
Back garden things running. Someone's playing with the music. The kids are running up and down the stairs. That's real Caribbean, old school. I'd be like, yeah, look at that, and you'll just experience love, laughter, stories. everything, brother. You just
might-
feel
might
love
even
and
experience
affection.
some beating.
Yes, facts. If you bring your kid in and he's running up and down, one of the aunties are gonna grab him. You get me? Oh, sit down, brother. I'll go on upstairs. You know what I mean? So yeah, music, food, and a real family get together. That's where I'd point to in Britain.
Okay.
As to whereas what's Caribbean, what's Jamaican. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting, like, you and
I want to say one.
referring to the clothes or the dancing.
No,
obviously-
when I say music, I would experience
Oh,
the
the
dancing
music
to some
and the
extent.
dance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because obviously when we're talking about carnival, the
Yeah.
carnival
Yeah.
is dancing, floats,
100%.
clothes, rather than the music, rather than the actual sound systems.
Yeah.
Even though it's a massive part of
Yeah.
it.
So one of the things I would say, so going back to Masala, going back to Carnival, is what is your settings? So we talk about settings a lot because we're talking about what does it mean in this day and age for you to uphold or sustain the culture. And I think oftentimes we don't, as generations go, we lose that settings. We lose. We're not yamming. We're not soaking the peas overnight anymore, brother.
No.
We're not even going to the cans. We're not getting to the tin of beans. We've run into like a Cornish pasty and chips. Yeah. Lasagna's getting pushed. Someone chucking some pizza in the ovens.
They say, man, I didn't even wash the chicken no more.
Chicken Kievs, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So the generations
we've
are getting.
adapted our.
We say
we've
adapting.
our culture.
Some would say we're adapting. Some would say
Also
we're
losing.
losing our culture. So are we upholding to the setting? So the same question we could ask for Masala is: yeah, you're doing a Christmas and it's just for the kids, or you're going to the museum. But where does Egyptian heritage live in your household? Does that make sense? And we've got to ask the
He's
same
a
questions to
Muslim,
ourselves
so
today.
Maybe that's what he always comes back to,
Yeah,
religion.
possibly, yeah.
Maybe he says, wow, religion rules my household,
Yeah.
and that is my connection to home. But then he doesn't, well, from what I see, he's not like a massive advocate for religion.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe he's just quiet because he's not really an outspoken,
Yeah.
like he doesn't come out and give these massive speeches, whereas some footballers do. So maybe he does it on a quiet, and maybe that's where he feels he represents.
Or maybe he feels like he doesn't need to.
Yeah, or he doesn't need to. Maybe his relationship
To each
with
his your
God
own.
in his country is, wow, we call him the Egyptian king.
Yeah.
Like, that's the Liverpool nickname for him, and he embraces it. And over there, like, when he goes to play for Egypt, he has a personal bodyguard that's with him when he's
Yeah.
on the pitch. Well, obviously not when he's next to him, but
Yeah.
he has like a team around him. So that's how big he is in Egypt. Like, he's massive. He's like a massive superstar right there. So maybe he feels like he's enough.
Maybe
You know,
his
like, just
existence.
me being who I am
Yeah.
is enough for my country. I don't know. Maybe he'll come out. Maybe someone will ask him and he'll come out and say something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Right, we are
That'd be good.
we are getting so close. Everything's gonna lock off very soon.
I want to hear your opinions, people. Talk about the settings. Are you a settings person? Is there what's your thoughts on Carnival in regards to, are we upholding the Caribbean culture? Your thoughts on Masala? We got to hear what the people are saying.
I'm happy with
Broken
that.
Generation podcast is brought to you by Sophisticated Rebel Apparel. Available at www.sophisticatedrebel.uk. Be seen. Be heard. Be you.